Welcome back to Frontline News. I'm Cody-Ann Barrett. It's now time for Frontline Business. Mining Minister Robert Montague revealed during Tuesday's sitting of Parliament's Standing Finance Committee that the low profit recorded by Jamaica Bauxite Mining Limited is a result of ongoing upgrading works, among other challenges at the entity.
The fall off is a result of a number of issues. There's the expansion, there's an investment in some capital works. They had to do a lot of upgrading at the Litford site. Their partner in Gramercy, they had extensive damage during the 2017 winter. There was earlier in the year reduced prices on bauxite and alumina. There were some poor performances because of technical improvements at the Gramercy plant.
Jamaica Bauxite Mining Limited was incorporated in 1975 to administer the government's stake in the bauxite and alumina industries. Fly Jamaica Airways passengers who were left in limbo after last November's crash landing at the Chedijagan International Airport in Guyana will have to wait a while longer for refunds. The Guyana Civil Aviation Authority, GCAA, says there is little that can be done at the moment as the airline has not been closed. More in this report.
According to media reports, it is believed that hundreds of Fly Jamaica tickets were sold by travel agencies in Guyana, Canada, and New York. Travel agents, especially in New York, have been complaining about passengers demanding refunds almost 4 months since the crash left the airline scrambling to find the aircraft. Last week, Captain Ronald Rees, a principal of the company, said Fly Jamaica is working to issue a statement. He appealed for patience as the airline moves to take to the skies again. According to Colonel Field, a number of persons had filed complaints with the authority over the delay in getting refunds. About 3 weeks ago, airline officials were called to a meeting, and the GCAA expressed displeasure about how requests for refunds were being handled. When asked about a mandatory $40 million cash bond that Fly Jamaica would have had to deposit, Colonel Field said it cannot be touched unless the airline closes. Kimberly Broderick, Frontline Business.
Embattled Chinese tech giant Huawei is suing the U.S. government in its most aggressive move yet to fight back against accusations that its technology poses a global security threat. The CNN tells us more.
Yeah, this is some of the most aggressive pushback that I have seen from Huawei against this U.S.-led campaign against the company. Executives and board members and even high-profile outside lawyers all being trotted out at this lengthy press conference here at their headquarters, completely in English, laying out the case of how this law, or parts of this law, which is known as the National Defense Authorization Act, or NDAA, that it is unfair and unconstitutional because it unfairly targets Huawei, naming Huawei specifically, and it is essentially punishment without trial. But of course, Christy, you follow China and the United States, and there is a little bit of a broad irony here, because let's not forget that there are a lot of U.S. tech companies that are locked out of the Chinese market, and they do not have the same recourse and access to rule of law and transparency and fair legal systems in China. And so that is a criticism here, and I asked that of Chief Legal Officer Song Liuping at the press conference today. Have a listen to what he said in response.
I
think if other multinational corporations or even Chinese companies face unlawful actions from the government, they can stand up for their rights, just like how we are standing up for our rights in the United States.
So, like he said there, Huawei is standing up for its rights in the United States. Analysts I've talked to said, look, this lawsuit is not likely to end with Huawei gaining any more U.S. market share, but it could make a difference on the global stage where Huawei is under fire from this U.S.-led campaign, and maybe could help sway officials in the U.K. or Germany or Canada who are all considering restrictions on Huawei products.
In Thursday's trading session, the JC Combined Index advanced by 184 points to close at over 380,000. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 58 stocks, of which 27 advanced, 22 declined, and 9 traded firm. The junior market index declined by 26 points to close at 3,082. Stocks advanced for Barita Investments, Caribbean Cement, Caribbean Cream, Carreras Limited, and Siboney Group. Stocks declined for Access Financial Services, AMG Packaging and Paper, Cargo Handlers, Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances, and Deramon Trading. Trading firm were 1834 Investments, Caribbean Producers, Express Catering, Fontana Limited, and Knoxford Express. Mayberry Investments Limited was the volume leader with over 12 million units, followed by Kingston Properties Limited with just over 2 million units and Mayberry Jamaican Equities Limited with over 1.3 million units. And in news in oil, prices were broadly unchanged on Thursday as OPEC-led supply cuts and U.S. sanctions against exporters Venezuela and Iran counteracted record U.S. crude output, rising inventories, and falling estimates of global demand growth. Brent crude futures were at $66.10 per barrel, up 11 cents from their last close. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude oil futures were at $56.44 per barrel, up 22 cents. And that's it for Frontline Business. I'm Cody Ann Barrett. Pleasant viewing.